Hi everyone, my name is Olivia Atieno. I am the Kenya Programs Director for DIG. We would wish to share with you our work. Welcome and enjoy.
Welcome. We're back. I'm Madison James, your host, but I feel like, Sarah, we do this together.
We do. Thank God for her, though. Madison James, our MC, and I'm Sarah Koch, DIG's Executive Director.
Yeah, and this is our third time doing it, I guess, virtually, if you want to call it that, with our cocktails and Castoffs.
Yeah, we had to do it because of the pandemic, and then we loved it so much, so we're here again.
And Sarah loves this. You all know Sarah. Sarah is, this takes a lot, so we're glad that she's doing it.
Butterflies.
Yeah, we're going to do so good. We're going to do so good. But this year, we're celebrating, we're in more homes. This is the first time we're in more homes. We're in 24 tables.
24 hosts.
Yeah, host tables.
Virtual hosts this year, which is the most we've ever had. And I'm so glad you mentioned home because I actually forgot to say that you're actually in my home.
That's right.
Welcome to my home. We decided that this year we wanted a new kitchen to come to, and what better kitchen than mine. I had to kick my kids out of the house, though, so that it would not be a messy kitchen. So welcome to my home.
Oh, my goodness. And everyone's gathering all throughout the globe this year.
Yeah.
And we've got some really, really cool places. We're going to shout out some people right now. Big shout outs to all of our friends and family here in the Atlanta area.
So many of you.
Also, Sarah's parents. Hey, Dad didn't have to go to FedEx this year, so.
Did not have to go to Memphis. Thank you.
Everyone was able to get their boxes and everything on time. Plus, big shout outs going out to Joe, Lonnie, Craig, Mark, Tony, Sarah, Tilden, Steve, and Robin, all out in Denver. Thank you so much.
Love Denver.
Becky and Carl in Seattle. also Sarah and Kent in Louisville, and also Amy and Joel out in San Diego. Thank you so much.
A beautiful dinner on your farm. I also want to shout out those in New York, Tom Graham and Stephanie and Mike Kaplan, holding it down in New York. We have a lot of Bay Area friends, the Cranes in San Francisco, Eric and Brent. Eric and Brent, I hope you noticed and you made your crostini that you inspired me that made it into our recipes this year. It was because of you guys that recipe, I'm obsessed with it. So good. Ron and Leah out in Oakland, and big shout out and love to Patty and Jim. Also, I couldn't forget my Vacaville friend, Bill Collison, who is hosting many virtual watch parties that go beyond Vacaville.
Okay.
Bill and Tina out in Chicago. We've got Dennis and Trisha in Georgetown celebrating with their family. Tom and Chris, who are no doubt putting out an amazing spread up in Big Canoe. One of my favorite monthly donors up in Maine, Cynthia. Thank you for showing up with a little gathering. The Bernsteins they're in Seattle and Oregon. Diane in West Bend. We've got Scott and Will in Truckee. I wish I was at your party right now. I know, it's amazing.
And we're all over the globe this year, so we really got to shout out those in Paris, Abu Dhabi, also Senegal and Lisbon. So we really appreciate it, and beyond. It's kind of good how this kind of grew from the pandemic. Now it's like,
yeah, and I love that
so
we're
many
actually
households that we're able to come to and visit.
What's so special about this is bringing the gathering back to the event. So if I missed a party that is happening, please share with us on social media. I apologize, but there are so many of you, and I love to imagine you out there where you are right now with your friends and family.
So we're going to talk about what you're going to experience today with our party, because I'm calling it a party because you guys are going to see me eat. We're going to do everything that you all are doing. This beautiful spread here, we didn't do this, but
so much food. Thank you.
It was so good and amazing. So we're going to be visiting different areas that DIG has been working with this year, 3 core programs. Plus, we're going to have 2 cocktails by our, Tiffany's been with us forever.
She's been with us from the beginning.
A mixologist, making things happen. She's going to do 2 cocktails. Plus, we're going to hear from our culinary ambassadors and DIG board members. Chef Pierre Chom is going to give us another amazing recipe.
Yep.
So good, so good. And we're going to hear from Ro at Warren Forest here in Atlanta. If you got the boxes, you got the amazing dry flower. It was she's going to kill me, but arrangement that she did. So she's going to tell you more how to spruce up your table too.
Yeah, and I want to do a quick thank you. There's so many thank yous, but I want to do a quick thank you for all of the content producers tonight. Madison James, obviously, who's been our MC for so long. She makes me feel so much more comfortable on camera. That really means something. Obviously, Ro, who we're going to meet in a little bit. I want to thank Heather Troutman, who did all of the amazing photography that you see for these boxes, for the events, for the website, for our social media. Susan Puckett, who is in many ways my culinary muse. She gives such amazing ideas and advice on how to bring this work to you through food. And David Tauster, who is the ultimate editor of my writing and content and just inspirer of all things. He's out in Lisbon right now. So big a shout out to David Tauster, Marshall Protzman and Zach Piles for putting together this very complicated but fun little virtual event, and Emmanuel Anglican Church here in Atlanta for donating all the equipment we needed to put this together and bring it to you live. So there's that.
Appreciate that. Do we want to talk about our purveyors? We want to talk about them?
Yeah.
We want to get to,
well,
because we couldn't make it happen without our purveyors.
No.
100%. We'll talk about that just real quick. Let's get to the money because that's my favorite part of it. Our need this year is to raise $175,000. We're currently right now at $106,830. Of course, by the end of the night, our goal is to get past $175,000. And Sarah, what will tonight's goal, when we raise $175,000, what will that help do? What's the goal that we're going to accomplish with that money?
Well, we have a lot, and I'm going to get into all of what that money is going to be used for. But it is basically to allow us to keep growing our work in the 3 countries where we're serving, adapting, meeting the needs that we have and that we see on the ground in real time. And a lot of that is trusting us to use the resources that you allow us to take out into the field. And a lot of it is taking this model that we've developed over the last 15 years and applying it in places that we know will have impact. But tonight, part of, Dig and what we're doing in the field is a big part of it. And the money that we're raising is going to go towards our programs to help us keep expanding Dig's work in the countries where we're serving. But the other piece is the part of the viewer, of you who are participating and making this connection between what Dig is doing with uniquely marginalized producers, food producers around the world, but also sort of tapping into the power that we have as consumers and our collective choices that we make and how that matters to those producers. And it matters to all of us because it impacts the planet. And the other goal of tonight is to just have fun. For me, like what I have loved about Dig from the very beginning is there's such joy in gathering and being together in this community. And this event has, just like we talked about, inspired small gatherings around the world. And that's just such a joy. So here's to another opportunity to do that.
I know, right? So we couldn't make any of this, all of our purveyors, in those amazing boxes that you received. If you did not get one, too late. So you have to wait till next year.
Yeah, and it was really good this year.
I mean,
we had
really
such
good.
Amazing
really good.
purveyors.
Can we share some of the purveyors we want to thank?
Yeah, we're going to be thanking them throughout the night because it's a long list. But some of the ones I want to call out right away are Jelly Belly. These crack me up. So Jelly Belly is one of those companies that took a problem and turned it into an asset. So they have these things called belly flops, which are the castoffs of the jelly bean factory. And they turned it into this little special thing that's really hard to get, and they donated belly flops to our box. We have Jennifer Booker from Your Resident Gourmet donated. We've got, let's see, Amazi. We've got lots of cool stuff that's coming straight from Africa. We've got Seed and Light International provided some seeds that are very appropriate to what Dig would be growing and what now you can grow in your garden at home. Unicorn Aspects donated some nuts from Kenya and a lot more that we'll talk about.
So everyone eat, do all that stuff. We're going to get to the nitty gritty, to the drink with Tiffany. She'll be here.
I'm ready for it.
In just a second. But let's talk about last year. Our goal was to raise $150,000, and we went way past that and raised $165,000 last year. And again, we could not do it without you hosting your parties, your friends, your family, everyone that donated to Dig. We really do appreciate that. And Sarah, what was Dig able to do with that $165,000 that we raised last year?
We did a lot. We trained 55 new farmer groups through our core Farmer Field School program. We onboarded our first ever mentor father. You'll learn about our mentor mothers, but we onboarded a mentor father. We adapted our program to serve people living with physical disabilities in Senegal and women who've experienced gender-based violence. That was a completely new adaptation for us. We expanded our Indigenous Field School program, which I can't wait to tell you more about. You heard a little bit about it last year. We're a year in, and it's really fabulous. And we expanded regionally in all 3 countries where we were working.
Oh, that's awesome. So let's get to the nitty gritty. We want to make sure let's start the drinking. So we purposely put caffeine in this drink to make sure everyone's perked up, ready to go, and start donating. Tiffany has got an amazing drink. It is called Dawn to Dusk. So let's get ready to make our drinks. Check it out now.
Thank you, Sarah. I'm so excited to be back. Thanks for having me back. It's 2022, y'all. For those that don't know me or happy to see me again, it's me, Tiffany Berrier, also known as the Drinking Coach, and I've got some cocktails for us. So it's time for a great coffee cocktail. We are fortunate to have our own Dig coffee blend from Firelight Coffee that we have the chance to nicely steep and brew. So I hope that you've made that already. Give it a little moment to chill a tad because we don't want to pour that hot coffee over ice. I'm going to go ahead and take that sugar. I called just for a nice ½ ounce, but sweeten as you please. I'm going for a nice 1 ounce of that beautiful Dig blend. We've got a gift here. The whole bottle is about a little shy of 2 ounces, but 1 ounce or 1.5 ounces, it's up to you. I'm going to put about 1 ounce in there. Save some for later. I'm going to make another cocktail. And I'm going to go ahead and ice that. Remember that coffee's a little warm, so you got to put some ice in there. While we're putting our ice inside of our shaker, let's find the glass that we want to use and throw some ice in there as well. Use a martini glass if you like, favorite rocks glass, and hey, remember, if you want to use a coffee cup, that's okay too. Give it a nice good shake. A nice good 10 seconds there in the shake. Whatever shaker you're using or mason jar is a-okay with me, but I want to make sure that you see bubbles on the inside. If you didn't do any bubbles in there, let's get those arms to work, friends. I'm gonna pour those shaken ingredients right there over our eyes. Oh my goodness. Grab a nice little pinch of cinnamon. Aromatic, caffeinated, delicious. Here's our fantastic cocktail, dawn to dusk. Cheers to another year.
Thank you so much, Tiffany. That was amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
We're going to need
Cheers.
some perky wake up. That's good. That's really good.
It's really good.
Caffeine. Caffeine and coffee, an amazing job. Real quick, as we're getting it going, don't forget to donate, because that's the whole purpose of this. So please text DIG to 44321. Text DIG to 44321. We're going to be reminding you this whole time to help us hit our $175,000 need, so Sarah can do more work.
I want to thank, yes, that's so true. And I want to thank a few people that just donated. Lonnie and Craig out in Denver, thank you. Douglas Moore, Julie Savani, thank you so much. I know our Senegal program is a deep love for you, so thank you so much. Tom Graham, another Senegal loving supporter, and also thank you for those aprons you brought back when you were there. And Chad Mendoza out in Denver, thank you guys so much for donating.
And again, thank you, Tiffany, an amazing drink. Tiffany's going to be back a little bit later. We want to thank Tiffany, the drinking coach, also Heaven Hill Distillery, also Deep Eddy Vodka, Firelight Coffee Roasters, and it is a dig blend,
Yes,
by
they
the way.
did their own dig
They did their
blend.
own dig blend.
And they are all about sustainable roasting, so I love them.
Yes, and also a beautiful briny sea, too, as well.
Obsessed. Susie from Beautiful Briny Sea will not let me come into her shop without sending me home with amazing
that's
salt
awesome.
and sugar mixes. Their unicorn salt I literally am obsessed with it.
So continue to sip on your drink while Sarah tells us about the event and what it's all about today.
Yeah.
And what we're going to get done.
Yeah, so I talked about it a little bit, but it's this idea that we can come together and from our different points in the globe and start to think about ourselves and our actions differently, and to start to see ourselves as activists in our own kitchens. DIG believes that food can change the world, and that there are so many things around how we grow food, how we consume food, how we share food, that impacts all kinds of points in our lives. It's hard to find a critical issue that's happening in the world today that does not connect back to food.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a really also a joyful place to come to deal with these complex, challenging issues. When you think about climate change, and you think about malnutrition, and you think about education, all of these things that the way we address food matters, and it can be fun in how we talk about that.
Yes.
So we're gathered here to raise support for DIG, but we're also gathered here to enjoy each other and enjoy the experience of food. And I think there's no better way to do that than tasting these amazing recipes that
I know,
our
right?
chefs created for us this
With
year.
community, because if you think about it, a lot of things do happen around food
Yeah.
with your friends and family. And we have so many recipes and food up here. I can't wait to dig into it. So let's just talk about Chef Zoo from King's Apron. He is advocating for more plant-based diets in our health, and he's got, which one
These
is
are
it?
his vegan brownies, and
Yes.
they're a little finicky to get formed right, but hopefully yours came out great, and they taste delicious. And what I love about that, I am not a plant-based only eater. Eric and Brent, Jace and David, I know you guys are, and I commend you, and I'm always looking for recipes, so send them my way. But I think just having more opportunities to choose plant-based foods is a really important thing that we can do. I know our family tries to do vegetarian meal at least twice a week, trying to work on more, but my son is a carnivore, so really working on him. And I love these brownies too because they feature Cooley Cooley's moringa powder, and we grow moringa in almost all of our gardens in Senegal and Kenya. It's a superfood. It's truly a superfood. And Kuli Kuli has made it possible for us to get moringa here in the States in a powder form, which retains a lot of its nutrient value. So I love that.
And then we have Mitchell Anderson with the kale salad. Sarah's favorite salad. I think.
Okay, so it's, I have to kind of admit something. If I've ever come to your house and had to bring a dish, there's a good chance I brought this kale salad, and I didn't tell you it was Mitchell's recipe. And people think it's mine. Well, guess what? It was Mitchell Anderson from Metro Fresh. It's his recipe. But what I love about it is that it can be made with whatever you have on hand. So this idea of use what's in your fridge, don't waste. If you eat seasonally, so if you have apples, use apples. If you have pears, use pears. If you have walnuts or pecans, if you have dried fruit or fresh fruit, it all works. And it's so healthy and nutritious and tastes so good. And now it's out. It's not my salad. It's really Mitchell's.
See, Sarah. But thank you, Mitchell, for coming up with the recipe. Also, Metro Fresh, too, thank you for everything you do at Dig. We really do appreciate everything you guys do, and plus the Dig Garden.
They sponsor every year. This restaurant in Atlanta, Metro Fresh, which is Mitchell's restaurant, sponsors a Dig Garden. I think they've done like 4 or 5 gardens now around the world, and they always bring their customers in to help donate, and they give a portion of their soup sales in the month, I think, of December to Dig until they raise $5,000. So thanks to Metro Fresh. It's a great idea.
And we do appreciate that. So all of these recipes, by the way, again, if you didn't get a box, it's okay. You can still get the recipes by going to dig.org. So everything's up.
Everything's up there.
Up online. You can also donate too while you're there too as well. Yeah. You already know. I've got the coffee going from Tiffany's Drink. That's what we're going to do.
Yep.
And Sarah, we got some special thanks too as well.
Yeah, just thinking about the recipes, I want to shout out again Susan and Heather and David Tauster for all the work you did testing these recipes, photographing these recipes, making them look beautiful on the cards. You guys worked really hard. I really, really, truly appreciate you. And then Jace Rogat and Captain Notepad did all of our box printing for free, and the printing is so beautiful. And they always do this for us. I'm so grateful for their long-term partnership with Dig.
And you mentioned earlier when we first came on about uniquely marginalized people with Dig that you're working with this year. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So Dig sort of we see ourselves in this sort of sweet spot where we work with a population of people that are often forgotten or left out of other development opportunities. And there's so many different kinds of groups, but when I say uniquely marginalized, I'm talking about people living with physical disabilities, people living with HIV, children who've been diagnosed as malnourished. We're working with chronically or young mothers and people that are kind of on the margins that all they need is a little bit more access to get started, and then we graduate them on to other opportunities that they may access through Dig, but more likely access outside of Dig that they couldn't have otherwise done. So we work just for those who are completely new to Dig, and I think there are some people out there in your parties that are totally new to Dig. We use regenerative agriculture as a way of addressing these populations' nutrition, food security, income, but also social cohesion. So you'll see why gathering people in demonstration gardens, going through a weekly training, they get to learn the techniques, trial them in a safe space, and then apply them at home if it is something that's meaningful to them. I think that the fact that climate change, there's a global pandemic still kind of lingering, definitely still lingering. We've international conflict, like all kinds of supply disruptions. These are the people who are immediately impacted, and Dig is working with them so that they can not only be more resilient in their household and their families, but also become a resource to their broader communities. And we've seen where our farmers have stepped in when the local markets close or their offerings are no longer as robust because it comes in from outside, that they're the ones that are supplying their neighbors with fresh produce, and that's pretty.
And we saw that a lot last year too, as well, like because of Dig educating people and having food, and it really helped out during the pandemic. That was a big deal to see.
And not only the pandemic.
They were able to feed their villages and also feed neighboring villages too as well.
Totally, and what we're seeing with the Ukraine-Russia conflict, the same thing is happening. Half of Senegal's wheat supply comes from that part of the world.
Oh, wow.
And so you really get a sense of how tenuous these markets are, and having resilient local resources is absolutely the way forward, and our farmers are becoming like the strength for their community.
Which is so cool. Because of your donations, we're able to keep it going and educate people and have more gardens, more sustainability, and helping people like feed their communities. That's what I like about Dig. Right now we're at $110,000. Thank you so much. Keep donating. We're just getting started. Text the word DIG to 44321. Again, DIG to 44321. So Sarah, we have another.
Yeah, I want to first shout out. I just saw that John Snyder, John and Miles, thank you guys so much for giving. Valerie Poyster and Corey Jones just gave, so thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much.
I think what we should do is we should go straight to one of our films. So this year, instead of doing separate stories in each country, we decided we would tell you, just kind of ground you in what is DIG's work. So we're going to show you short films about our 3 core programs. So the first program, which is always the program that is anywhere you would find DIG, we are implementing our Farmer Field School program. So that's the main one. If you walk away with not knowing what we do, like, pay attention to this one. This is what we do. So let's go there.
Yeah, let's take a look.
DIG's Farmer Field School is the core of development and gardening's programs, and every year, over 8,000 people reap its benefits. DIG prioritizes those largely overlooked by most agricultural models. First-generation farmers, the ultra-poor, elderly, and young mothers, people living with HIV/AIDS, and other uniquely marginalized groups. These people have so much to gain and so much to give to their broader communities, but often lack access and representation. A DIG farmer doesn't need a formal education, financial capital, access to mobile technology, or connection to local markets, or even their own plot of land. There are no barriers to participate, only the desire to grow.
Il n'y aura pas beaucoup de difficultés au sein des membres.
The program has been adapted for countless landscapes, vulnerabilities, markets, and social dynamics. And today, it's represented across the steep mountainsides of southwestern Uganda, through the dusty urban streets of southern Senegal, and amidst the rolling hills of western Kenya. Many members of our disability groups in Uganda and Senegal, who never saw themselves as farmers, now have the capacity to transform the health of their families and ensure a more stable local food system for their neighbors. Never before did they know they could earn a living from what they could grow. At the start of the program, DIG asks each farmer to define their own success, and the answers are as unique as the farmers themselves. For some, it's to ensure they can provide a healthy diet for their families. For others, it's to grow an empowering business. On average, graduates of DIG's Farmer Field School slash their weekly food bills by 90% while also tripling their income. They increase the number of meals they source from their gardens and more than double the variety of foods they consume, dramatically improving their household nutrition. In Kenya, the average graduate gains roughly $420 a year, which means they can send their children to school, make improvements on their homes, or invest in new business opportunities.
Je peux dire que c'est fabuleux et elle est tellement importante.
DIG's impact is like the nature of a seed spreading organically. For every farmer trained, 3 others in the community benefit from the knowledge, and the ripple effects are immeasurable. DIG's Farmer Field School programs take the limitations of what is and brings to life what can be, with lasting benefits for generations to come.
Guys, Scott and Will, thank you so much for that transformative gift that just came in. It's amazing.
Yes, it is. Sarah, anything about the film that everyone just watched?
You know, for me, the Farmer Field School program has become such an evolved learning for us, and that's kind of its strength. It is all about adaptation, that we have a program that can be adapted really for any context and community, that we have the structure of how it works and the openness and curiosity to build out new adaptations. And we have all local teams that are telling us what the community needs, what they're asking for, what are the appropriate adaptations. So for us, we're able to reach about 8,000 or benefit about 8,000 people every year through that program, which blows my mind. And in Kenya, we're starting to understand what done looks like.
Okay.
We've been in this one part of Kenya for the last 4+ years. Many of you on the watching side have been to this part of Kenya, and we're starting to realize that it's really, really hard to find a new farmer who's never heard of DIG or hasn't learned something through DIG because they've learned it through their friends and neighbors. So on average, for every farmer we train, they go on to organically share the learnings with roughly 3 other people, some much more than that. And so it's hard to find new people. So we're gonna actually be using some of the money that we raise here tonight to expand our program into new regions in Kenya, which is very exciting, and double our presence there. And also, like, markets in Kenya are far more diverse than they were when we first came. You can find much more variety. It's they're being, you know, our farmers are in the market selling that nutritious produce. So all of that is kind of teaching us what done looks like, and that feels really, really exciting because ultimately we want to have an impact and leave.
And that's what we're doing. And by the way, just after that video, we raised $20,000. So thank you guys so much. Continue to keep giving. We're at $132,939, about $40K shy of our need, which is $175,000. So I'm very confident you're going to keep drinking and we're going to get this done. So, so what we would like for you to do, because I know everyone's having a great time, we want to see, you know, what your parties are looking like. We want, you know, like we talk about, this is community. So please tag us in all of your videos or reels, your stories, anything that you post on social media. We want to see it. So make sure you do Cocktails and Castoff, hashtag that, and like us, put us, you know, tag us in your photos at Reap Life Dig. So just look it up. You'll see, I'm calling it a carrot, but that's kind of, that's the picture that will pop up on IG. So again, thank you guys so much. Continue to donate throughout this whole night tonight. And all you have to do is text the word DIG to 44321. So we can continue to grow. Like you said, it's not a bad problem, Sarah, to go, you know, we got to expand because the tribes and the community have actually shared and keep giving. So I think that's a good
And when we start working, like, we aren't raising money to keep working with the same groups that we've been working with. We are expanding into new groups. So your money that you're planting it's growing outward. And if you, just to say, if you aren't on social media and you have photos or videos from your gatherings, you can just also email them to me. And if you're comfortable, we'll share them on our social media.
Yeah, we sure will. And also, as you're starting to see the videos and everyone's feeling more comfortable with traveling now, glad that that's opened back up and that's getting back out there. You can take a trip, right, Sarah?
Yes, we have not.
More the merrier.
We have not, well, not actually the more the merrier. We have not done a trip. Well, I'll tell you, we have not done a trip since before the pandemic.
Right.
And DIG is going to be hosting a field trip. We're calling them field trips.
Okay.
Back to Kenya this May. And if you want to go to Kenya and experience our work on the ground, you can travel with me there.
You're going?
I'm going.
All right.
And we have an amazing team there and amazing work that you can get your hands dirty. But we usually take them small groups. We only take about 7 people max because it's a really intimate experience. And so keep a lookout for information about that. If you think you might be interested and want to know more, you can email me, Sarah with an H at dig.org, and I'll fill you in first off when we have that trip ready to go.
So that's exciting. I know
Very
that's
exciting.
really exciting because we got more videos. The more videos you watch, I'm telling you, you're going to go, I need to be on a plane, and then you can just see where your money is going. You can actually see the impact that DIG is having right there on the ground, which makes it super, super, super cool. So we also have some partners that we would like to thank too as well.
I want to thank some of our major program partners who have participated in this campaign. Dennis and Trisha out in Kentucky, thank you so much for your transformative gift. Esther and Chris Crane, you guys know you are incredible. Thank you. Scott and Will, who just showed up tonight with a huge gift. Thank you so much. Tim Parrott, we are so appreciative of your continued support. Thad and Suzanne King here in Atlanta, thank you so much. And Amy and Joel Cunningham out in San Diego, thank you. And also thank you for the box of avocados you sent me from your farm. So delicious.
Thank you. Well, this is my favorite segment, the eating. Yes. No, you guys have been eating already because you've been hosting your parties at your house. And we're going to sample some of the food we have here on the table. The cowpea hummus. For those of us from the South, these are made with black-eyed peas. Right, but that's what we would call them over here.
We grow a lot of cowpeas in our farms, particularly in Kenya, and it's a great protein source. It's also a great nitrogen-fixing plant, so it's good to give back to the soil and grow cowpeas. And this hummus is made by Chef Pierre Cham, who's one of our board members. It's so smoky and delicious. It's got a sustainable palm oil, so those of us who lived and worked in Senegal know palm oil is complicated. Get a sustainable one. It makes a huge difference in the flavor of that. It's so good.
And the chips, which are in stores too, so if you don't have in your box, you can get them in store. They're so good.
Yolele brands.
So I'm going to try. Sarah, go ahead.
Oh my gosh, so good.
My mouth is about to be full.
What I love about Chef Pierre's brand, and you're going to hear from him in a minute, is that he's focusing on introducing us to this grain called fonio, which is an ancient grain grown in West Africa and Mali and Senegal, and it's really a climate resilient crop. So it grows really quickly, it harvests really quickly, it can grow in drought conditions. It's far more nutritious than rice or corn or some of the other carbs that you might otherwise have, and
it's very easy
to
make.
So you like cook it in like 3 minutes.
Exactly. That's my kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we had these last year.
We did.
And they were in the boxes. Again, don't sleep on the boxes. They were in the boxes last year, so I went home and I did it with like my chicken. Oh my gosh, so good. So good.
And I think it's really important that we as consumers start to pay attention to what are the foods we're selecting, and choosing climate resilient crops are going to be important. And his business, Yolele, gives back to smallholder farmers. They're the ones that are growing it in Senegal.
And we've had over 234 donors.
Wow.
Would you like to thank some?
Thank you, Julie Adams, Kurt Surrey, thank you.
Steve Oakley, is that right? Am I reading that right?
Kyle and Andrew, thank you so much. Leanne, I'm imagining you having a lovely cocktail in Brent and Eric's backyard. Diane Smith O'Connor, thank you so much. Diane has traveled with me to Kenya, I don't know how many times, and she'll probably be there with me in May, I hope. Therese, thank you so much, and Jonathan Proctor.
Well, let's see what Chef Pierre has cooked up for us.
Yes.
Let's take a look.
Hello everyone, my name is Pierre Cham and I'm a chef from Senegal and a proud member of DIG's board of directors. While DIG is working to making sure small communities, vulnerable farming communities in Africa have access to nutrient-dense food and also have the right tools to face the challenges of climate change, and most importantly, have a source of income through their garden. I'm here to also tell you that you can make a difference by becoming an activist in your own kitchen. I'm a chef, but I'm also an activist. I'm a social entrepreneur. With my company, Yolele, we have been working with small farmers in the Sahel region, a dry and arid region in West Africa, and we identify crops that are drought resistant, that are nutritious and resilient, and we open markets for those crops so that those small farmers can have a source of income with their own product. Fonio, a tiny grain that you may have received, for those of you who have received the Sweet Harvest Party Box, it's a tiny grain that is extraordinary. And I hope you get a chance to try my recipe that came with the box as well, the fonio croquette, or try the fonio chips that we also produce Those fonio chips are, by the way, very, very good with Chef Jennifer Hill spiced dip. So try that. So again, fonio is a grain that not only is nutritious, but it also regenerates the soil, which is very important. And that's what Dig is doing through their garden. They practice a regenerative type of agriculture. And we have to be looking for that type of products when we consume. And that's how you become a food activist. You're looking for good food. Good food is food that takes the health of our planet in mind. Good food is food that supports biodiversity. Good food is also food that, is prioritizing, that's local, that's seasonal, that's sustainable. Is reducing our food waste is one way to support it. Shifting to a more plant-based diet, very important. So join me in becoming activist. And becoming activist is also supporting Dig in that mission by donating and allowing them to expand their work and having a growing community that's healthy. Good food is everybody's right, and we need to make sure that happens. Thank you, everyone, and have a great party.
Oh, that was an amazing video from Chef Pierre. So glad that he is a part of Dig. We really do appreciate that.
I nervously asked him if he would be on our board, and he was like, yes. So glad. Yeah, and what I love about him is just the concept that we need to choose sustainable purveyors when we can. Choose products that have sustainability in mind. And, we've got Amazi here with their plantain chips, which are produced by smallholder farmers in Uganda. We've got Yolele with farmers in Senegal. We've got Kuli Kuli that did the moringa. And one that's here in Atlanta that I'm really excited to introduce you to. Hopefully you got the box and you have some cookies in there.
Wonder Grub.
Wonder Grubs made these cookies. Akisi is the business owner and developer of this, and they make a sustainable alternative protein powder.
Okay, let's talk about what that is. Made with
grubs. They're
mealworms, which are really good. We're about to find out.
Okay, you go first, and then I'll go.
Okay.
They taste like chocolate chip cookies. I've already eaten a few. They're good. And what's great is that, protein is, it can be a very unsustainable choice if you're talking about meat all the time. And so we need to be open to alternative proteins.
Oh, really good. My mouth is full. This is a so no-no, but oh well.
But they make
they're really good.
They make more than just cookies. They make all kinds of protein powders, and you can add it in all kinds of...
Who's going to turn down a good cookie?
A chocolate chip cookie.
Also, we have some people who want to thank real quick.
These were grub cookies in your boxes, but you're welcome. You loved them.
Don't say you haven't tried different things.
So good.
Oh my goodness. Giving an update real quick.
Oh, wow.
We are $35,000 from our goal.
Oh my gosh.
So really, really excited about that. I want to thank a couple people. Let's see, Fisher.
Dave Pierce.
I know who that is.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I do. I read. I was like, wait a minute. I know who that is. They're here in Atlanta.
Oh,
thank you so much for donating.
Thanks.
Really do appreciate that.
Dave Pierce and Ian Bose. Is that how am I saying that right? Thank you so much, Ian. Thank you. This is amazing to have this live support.
Yes,
Thank
it's
you.
really good. So this is our first this year. So normally you guys just see me and Sarah here. So we're so excited that Ro from Warren Forest here in Atlanta decided to come play with us. So if you got your boxes, you have those amazing dry flower arrangements that were
Actually, I've hung mine up to live here forever. I love it.
Sarah's got them gracing both sides of the walkway. So Ro, if you would join us and talk about how we can make our table more, I guess, sustainable.
Dressing a sustainable
Hi,
table.
everybody. How are you today? Do you want me to come closer to you?
Come on.
Yeah,
get
come
in
on.
here.
We don't bite
here. Do you want a cookie?
I'm just going to eat cookies.
I'm scared about this cookie.
You don't have to be
I'll
scared.
figure this cookie out
Well,
later.
if you don't eat them, I will.
We'll gradually get into it, okay? So, my name's Renisha, or they call me Ro, but my name's Renisha from Warren Forest, and so 3 things that I will tell you that are really cool about sustainability for me is food, foraging, and flowers. So, what I love is you can always take a fruit or a vegetable and you can set your table really cute with a little vase and a fruit right next to it. Take your eucalyptus
And you can put your eucalyptus in there with the little fruit. It gives it more of a texture and depth on the table, as well as forage. And Atlanta is very local to pampas grass, and everybody loves it here. So we can just go outside and cut the pampas grass, as well as hydrangea, and eucalyptus is a really big thing too. So you can put it in your vase, and it dries very well, both pampas grass and eucalyptus. So it's really awesome. And then, of course, flowers, like you can go to your local farmer's market, preferably I would say farmer's market. Trader Joe's is really big in the U.S., but flowers are really awesome as well, and then they dry as well too.
So I love the drying. I like the, how can we extend?
So if you want to extend your life,
the life of the florals.
You're going to take your flower, make sure it's dried at the bottom, no water is added into it.
Okay.
And you're going to flip it upside down. And not sucks out, but it takes all of the moisture out of it. And so the more the moisture, it's going to wilt a little bit, and it's going to have some really funky petals, but you can pull those petals off, and it's going to be really, really nice on the inside. It's going to give lots of color. So, like, one of the favorite things that you do with dry flowers is what?
You hang them? No. You put them on your table?
Potpourri.
Oh,
yeah. Duh. Oh my goodness, I feel like I just failed the test. I've been eating these cookies.
Or you could do tea.
You could
dry your lavender for that yummy Dig tea blend.
So good. Look at Sarah thinking about next year.
We'll turn your floral arrangement into tea.
Oh, okay.
We can do that.
We should do that. Oh my gosh. We can brand
You
that.
heard it here.
We can market that.
We can definitely do that.
We should do that.
Now I can have a cookie. I'll eat a cookie.
Yeah,
together.
get you
I've
a
already
real
had
warm
3 cookies, but I'll do it again.
Okay, let's all do it together.
When I'm
Okay,
nervous,
I still have some of mine left over. What? Cheers with the cookies? Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh.
I love that, and I love in the box that you chose to feature eucalyptus, which not only smells beautiful, but there's a lot of eucalyptus grown in some of the countries where we work.
Absolutely.
So it
Absolutely.
felt very on point.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Well, we appreciate it.
It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure.
Well,
Thank you,
hang out
ladies.
for a minute because we're going to go to Tiffany's. But before we go, I want to also note Russ Pizell was one of our chefs this year who did a maple gastrique for our fruit salad, which was so delicious. Thank you so much. And I want to thank the Dojnicks, the Paisleys, the Lauras, and the Drakefords for cooking all of this food for us tonight so that I didn't have to lose my mind in the kitchen.
Me neither.
That was going to be featured or whatever. You guys did a great job. It's delicious. So thank you. And thank you, Tilden and Tony out in Denver for donating. Thank you so much. You guys are the best.
We do appreciate each and every one of you for donating. And lines are still open. Phones are still open. And by the way, donate. You don't have to. It's not just today. It's open all the way through.
We're going to keep
end
it
of
open
October, by the way. So
longer if we have to. So if you're sick of my email, let's do this.
we're
tonight.
30,000 to go. We're going to
wow.
keep it going. Our need is $175,000, and in my gut, Sarah, we're going to get that tonight. We're going to get that tonight. I really believe we're going to get that tonight.
I think to get there, though, we need another cocktail.
We do.
I
Tiffany's.
need another
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
This one's my favorite.
This is your favorite? They're
like
all
it
your
like-
favorite. We like all of Tiffany's
I like a
drinks.
good sour cocktail.
Okay.
This one's good.
So make sure I say, is it aqua?
Aquafaba, Diggs Aquafaba cocktail.
There we go.
Mixed for you by the drinking coach, Tiffany Barrier. I'll let her speak to
Let's take a look.
Sorry, I'm just putting my hand up.
It's perfectly fine.
I hope you're using that awesome hummus recipe that is in that basket for you. You can actually use the liquid that comes in those chickpeas and substitute for egg white. This is vegan friendly and absolutely delicious to make your drink have a little bit of volume. So let's make this really fun cocktail. We're gonna start with a fresh lemon. Go ahead and give that a nice little roll so it can be nice and juicy. Slice it in half. We're gonna slice a little wheel. Just leave that there to the side. With the larger half, squeeze all that lemon juice out of there. Here we go. And now let's get into this aquafaba. Now this is how much came in the can, so looks like we're gonna make a lot of cocktails. I'm calling for 3/4 ounce of that aquafaba. Don't be intimidated, friends. It's gonna be delicious. Now we've got our good friends from Sap Hound, and we're just going for a nice 1/2 ounce there. This can be a mocktail if you'd like. But if you are ready, let's go ahead and toss in our beautiful Deep Eddy. We are going to put the entire mini bottle right inside. And you know, some of my favorite stuff, we love some good bitters. It's not gonna make our cocktail bitter. It's actually gonna bring out some great aromatics. 1, 2, 3. I love bitters. So we're gonna do some fun bartender Tiffany Barrier drinking coach technique. We're gonna do a thing called dry shake. We're gonna shake this for 10 seconds without ice. Shaking without ice is gonna give me the volume I'm looking for so I can get that nice foam. Let's add some ice. Let's shake this cold. You want to shake that thing so cold you could write your signature on it. Oh, that is stunning. Let's get our nice cocktail coupe. Strain this back into my other half of my shaker there. We're doing bartender technique here. I'm gonna dump that ice off to the side. Then I'm just gonna give this a back and forth movement. And then I'm gonna pour this right into my cocktail coupe. Look at that. Look at those layers. Now, because you are an amazing bartender, hopefully you've got this beautiful foam that has happened. And notice that separation of the aquafaba. Oh, this is gorgeous. Take some cinnamon there and just pinch it right there on top. And remember that lemon wool we sliced earlier? Let's just drive that in and have it sit there for some aromatics. This cocktail is just for you and our great friends at Dig, and I'm just so happy that I could create it. I'm so proud of you in making one of the most technical cocktails we've ever made with Dig. Cheers.
Cheers.
My favorite one of the night.
You sure about that?
No.
And that is good.
I know. Who would have known? Aquafaba is the water in chickpea juice, and
yes,
that you wouldn't think that that would make a delicious cocktail, but it does.
No, because when Sarah told me, like, oh, I said, wait a minute, we're drinking what? But that's the whole thing with Dig. Though, no, seriously though, when you're talking about being sustainable, it is thinking outside the box. It's taking things and repurposing.
Yeah,
things just like grow with the flowers, and we got chickpea juice left off, and then you turn around and we take the chickpeas and we make hummus out of it. So it's just ways of just thinking outside the box.
Taking your risks or your waste and making it an asset. And you might not know, some of you do know, that aquafaba, the chickpea water, can be used as a vegan egg white substitute. So if you have a recipe that calls for egg whites, you can substitute chickpea water, aquafaba, for that and make it vegan.
Yeah, and the whole thing, again, like we're talking about being sustainable, 40% of us, we throw away our food when really we could extend it even more. So that's what you're learning tonight too with Dig, which I feel like I leave all the time with a lesson.
I know.
Oh, I could have gotten 3 more things out of that.
Yeah.
So,
well, for 40% of the food that we grow to eat gets thrown away, we have enough food on this planet to feed everyone. Like the fact that we're throwing food away is crazy to me. And we, not only the sort of injustice of throwing away food, but that waste actually is worsening the problem. That food goes into landfills. Landfills are one of the biggest emitters of greenhouse gases. So it's worsening climate change, which is directly impacting our farmers. Like, this is a big deal.
Yeah, it is.
Limiting your food waste is, it's a really small thing that we can all do as consumers here to make an impact to support our farmers and all of us around the world.
Yeah, and I know sometimes it feels like overwhelming, but what we show you tonight are just small steps.
Really small.
Like really small steps that you can do. And if you are donating now, by the way, check and see if your company that you work for does a corporate match. Yeah. That's a good way to kind of double the giving, which we really do appreciate.
I know Gap does it.
Oh, okay.
Google does it a lot of times.
Okay.
Warner Brothers does some.
I'm not really sure. I'm not.
There's a lot. There's a lot. I'm just thinking of ones that we already get that are corporate matches, and it's like, why not?
And just check into it, because it doesn't hurt, and you can still go to dig.org to donate. And you can also text DIG to donate at 44321
So easy.
to text to donate. We got an update. Oh, yes. I love it. I love it.
We're only $25,000
That's
away.
it. We're at $150,000. We appreciate each and
amazing.
every one of you for
Oh
donating.
my gosh.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. I feel like we're
gosh.
still,
Yeah.
we still got a ways to go. Like
We
with
do.
dealing with us. We're still going to be here a minute.
A little bit more. I want to just say, I want to shout out that the chickpeas that you just opened up to get the aquafaba out of. We have Mark Phillips made the most delicious lemon basil hummus, and Jennifer Hill Booker's beet hummus is out of this world. So good.
Then we've
and
got-
it's really good with Chef Seth Friedman's eggplant chips. So this whole menu was curated by some really talented people.
I'm trying it. Keep talking, Sarah.
Susan Puckett, David Towster, Heather Troutman. Like hopefully this menu felt really accessible and successful for you.
goodness.
So good.
I know
So
the
good.
audio people love me as I crunch right now, but that is really good.
Yes.
With Chef Mark Phillips. Keep talking. I'm gonna try everybody's on camera. And then we got
and they're so colorful. Jennifer
who would
Booker's.
think beets?
It's so good. It's so good. And all three of them with Chef Pierre's, they're so different. They're so beautiful together. They're
That's
so
like
good.
a surprising.
Sweet. Like a little bit of something sweet.
Oh my gosh,
So good.
that is so good. We like to thank Eric.
Oh, Eric and Brent, thank you so much. Out in Granite Bay. Again, I'm imagining your amazing party right now. It would be so fun to be there. And I want to take us back to the field.
Yeah.
I want to take us to explore DIG's second core program that we want to bring to you tonight. It's our Priority Household Program. This program is active in Senegal and Kenya. It started in Kenya. It was really successful, and so we've adapted it to be in Senegal. And it works with children who have been diagnosed at the clinic level as undernourished or malnourished. And you're going to take a little trip to see what that program's all about.
Let's take a look.
This is a story of new beginnings. In a world that produces more than enough to feed the global population, no one today should go hungry. But they do. Good nutrition begins with good food. DIG adapted its proven model, and now hospitals and clinics prescribe a specialized plan for malnourished children. In DIG's Priority Household Program, families first receive DIG's blended food supplements for immediate nutritional intervention, followed by individualized garden design with weekly cultivation support, nutrition and cooking education, and once they are on their feet, capital for an individualized garden business. As a result, the Priority Household Program has had a 96% success rate, moving these children from at risk to recovery. This is baby Winnie. At 6 months old, a healthy baby girl will weigh between 16 and 20 pounds. When Iska brought Winnie into the clinic, she weighed just 10 pounds and was diagnosed with acute malnutrition. Once the clinic prescribed Winnie the DIG program, our senior mentor mother, Monica, joined Iska at their home, and together they designed and built a garden especially serving Winnie's nutritional needs. Today, Iska has a flourishing garden filled with kale, Swiss chard, carrots, beetroot, and a variety of local and indigenous vegetables rich in vitamins and micronutrients. She now has the tools to ensure continued success, and Winnie is thriving. What's more, every week they now take their excess harvests to the local market, which they sell to the community, and the money they make gets reinvested in their farm. We have seen this story repeated throughout the countries where DIG works. Small seeds reap powerful growth for these children, their families, their communities, and for the world.
Another amazing video from Dig and the work that you all are doing out there on the field. We so like to see those stories and to see where your donations are going.
I know.
That's like amazing.
I want to give a really big shout out to our local team. So again, I had shared, I'm here in Atlanta. We have all host country nationals in our teams abroad. So it's Kenyans in the Kenya program, Ugandans, and Senegalese in those programs. And they're led by some incredible team leads. So Olivia Nyedho out in Kenya, Gloria Mushabi in Uganda, and Sekou Badji in Senegal are leading our teams in incredible ways, adapting our program, and telling us, advocating for what they find in the field of who we need to work with.
Oh, that's awesome.
And telling us, like, this is a group that we need to address, and that's what your money allows us to do, to be able to say, yes, we can work with women who've experienced gender-based violence. We've never done that before. How do we do that? How do we figure that out? They're the ones that are advocating for us to move our program into new spaces and be bold and brave in that. But I also want to thank all of our incredible facilitators and mentor mothers and mentor fathers. At the end of the program, at the beginning and at the end, we have a long list of many people to thank. All of their names are listed. I won't list them all tonight here, but I would encourage you to recognize all of them for what they do. Also want to note that all of our video content was produced for us through videographers who are from these countries. So a big shout out to Bashield Promoda in Uganda, Opinia Charles in Kenya, and Izzy Kassa Senegal, who provided us this content and went out into the field to capture this footage to put these videos together. Micah and Marilyn Dalton here in Atlanta were our voiceover actors for the sounds that you're hearing, the story that you're hearing. And again, Marshall Protzman, Heather Troutman, and David Tauster for helping us edit these pieces together. It was really, really wonderful. And then I could not go by without thanking our U.S. Global team. Lauren Macy, who's our Chief Program Officer, Melissa Pierce, our Director of Development, Billy Tobin, who is acting as our Finance and Operations Advisor, Noah Durman, who is our Technical Advisor, and Heather Troutman, who does our Communications and Social Media. It's amazing to work with all of this team. It's really a family. I'm so grateful for all of them.
And to see Dig grow over the years is
it's
so amazing. Every time I come back, I'm like, oh, we got new people. Oh, this is so great. We have about 10 minutes left, so we just want to keep you updated on what's going on because we will raise $175,000 tonight. So we are $25K from our goal. And I believe deep in my heart that the whole Dig family and the Dig community, we're going to push to make this happen. We can do it. We can do it.
Don't make me stand up here any longer than
Sarah loves to
put me to bed.
Oh my goodness.
But thank you, Michael Chenard, Julie Sworth, Jace Rogat, and Captain Notepad, David Betty, thank you. Bill Collison, you're amazing. Thank you. You're my cheerleader for this entire journey of Cocktails and Castoffs. And you'll probably make me excited about Cocktails and Castoffs 2024 or 2023.
Yeah.
Right, tomorrow morning when I wake up. And Jennifer Drake, thank you so much for your recent gift.
And make sure you text the word DIG. So DIG to 44321. Again, if this is your first time donating, we really do appreciate it.
Yes. Welcome to the DIG family.
Welcome, because once you come in, you're stuck with us.
She knows. This is year 5 for her.
Oh my goodness. But no, I love it. I love now with what happened with the pandemic in a cool way, we're now able to not just meet the people in Atlanta, now meet the people across the country and across the globe. So that's to me the positive that came out of COVID. So we're able to come into your households and you get to see the two of us.
Some of us.
And also big thank you to the production staff. You all cannot see this behind the camera to make sure that we're on it and we're getting what we need, what we got to be doing. Yeah. So there's another program, Sarah. This is our third. So we did the first, which
Farmer
was
Field School.
Okay, second.
Priority Household.
And now our third.
Indigenous Field School, Indigenous Foods Field School. And this one it's our newest program. We are adapting it and learning so much, and I'm excited to share with you. I really wish I had a final cut video to share with you, but things happen. Our production schedule got interrupted because of Ebola. Not really words you want to hear ever, but there is currently an Ebola outbreak in Uganda, and parts of where we work in Uganda is being affected, and so we, out of an abundance of caution, did not go out into the field to video. So what we have are some really great shots that we got before this most recent shoot that we were planning to kind of bookend where our progress was. We're going to share that footage with you, and I'm going to just talk to you about what this program is, because we're all about adapting. We're really good at adapting. All of us are now, but DIG is particularly good at adapting. And this program sort of takes the structure of our Farmer Field School model and has an intense focus on indigenous foods. We have been piloting it with our Batwa program out in Uganda, where we're working with the Batwa, who are more incorrectly referred to as the pygmies. They used to live in the forest where the mountain gorillas live. They were kicked out of the forest in the 1990s and kind of severed from their indigenous foodways. They were hunters and gatherers. And so DIG has been working with them for quite a while, since 2017, designing gardens for them to address their food security and nutrition outside of the forest. And recently we wanted to return into the forest with them to learn about what their indigenous fruits and vegetables are and see if we could actually grow them outside of the forest. And so we've been working with 8 Batwa communities, discovering, well, for us, discovering, for them, rediscovering their indigenous forest foods. And we've actually recorded 26 different varieties of foods that they would forage for inside the forest. And they chose, the Batwa, the groups that we were working with, actually chose 14 to grow and see if we could grow outside of the forest in their demonstration farms. 13 of those 14 fruits and vegetables were successfully grown outside of the forest, which is just incredible. An average of 8 of those 13 that have been successfully grown are now regularly being grown in their home gardens. And it's just so exciting for me to see the Batwa, or for all of us to see the Batwa being able to reconnect with these cultural foods that they have been sort of lacking in their life outside of the forest. And so for me, it feels like such a justice, such an important justice move for them. And what's also cool is they're growing these fruits and vegetables now regularly. People are hearing that they're growing them, they're interested. So what we're kind of seen as foods for the poor are now being sought after. We've had people coming from as far as Rwanda to come and purchase these forest foods from our farmers, which is incredible. And a big thing about this, there's some hopeful news and chatter going around in Uganda that there might be a time when the Batwa could go back into the forest.
Oh, wow.
And so to think
big.
that they will
big.
have not completely lost connection to certain fruits and vegetables, but actually be able to go back into the forest and continue to steward those resources is really important. We also have, sort of on the flip side, learned that there's the likelihood that the park will be expanding in Rwanda. So additional displacement is going to be happening in that country. And in Rwanda, in Uganda where we work, there are 6,000 Batwa, but in Rwanda there are 36,000 Batwa. So we're really hoping to expand our program into Rwanda in the coming years, and we're looking for the right partners to do that with, and your resources will be helping us kind of explore that opportunity.
Yes, it will.
Yeah.
Again, don't forget, we're a little under 10 minutes, so feel free to donate. DIG 44321. Talk about the box.
Yes.
Something special in the box. This has been a long time coming.
This has been a long time coming. So the filmmakers Jason Drakeford and Dana Dajnik joined myself and our Chief Program Officer, Lauren Macy, in Uganda several years ago to film a 360 virtual reality film to kind of put you in the position of where DIG is working in Uganda and experience that work through 360. And we finally finished the film cut. Those of you who got the box got some VR goggles to put and experience that that film, but you can actually go log on to our website and find that film and watch it through your cursor, or if you have a VR viewer or you have some Google Cardboard glasses, you can check it out too. So if you can't get on a plane and go to Diggs Gardens with me in person in May, perhaps this is a great way to get a sense of our program.
Well, we're going to be giving an update here. Oh, wait, I got an update.
Ooh,
okay. We got another 5K. We're $20,000 away from hitting our goal of $175,000. So go to dig.org or text dig to 44321. Like Google right now and see if your company does matches.
Yeah.
Yes, and first time donors, we really do appreciate it. Welcome to the family. And those are already part of the family. We appreciate you as well. We couldn't do it without our dig
And
community.
every little bit, whether it's small, a small amount, you certainly don't have to give the last 20,000, but if you can, why not? But every little bit counts. It all matters to us in expanding our work. I want to give a shout out to Jane Wilkinson. She's a longtime supporter. We traveled to Haiti together many years ago. Thank you so much, Jane. She helped me deliver boxes here in Atlanta. Galen Sanford, thank you. And Nicholas McQueen, thank you for your recent donations. We're now only 20,000 away, thanks to
20,000. We do appreciate it.
Thank you.
And by the way, the opening for giving is all the way through the end of October for this event, but you can get 365 days out of the year because Sarah will not say no.
Never.
There's like, you can keep giving as long as you want to keep giving. We could not do any of this again without our Dig family, so we want to give you a little bit more insight on what we're raising money for, where your dollars are going. If you're just tuning in now, maybe you stepped away, people are having parties, you're seeing that Dig is really on the ground. That's the thing, like Dig is really on the ground, seeing the needs and constantly pivoting and adapting, what is needed, what is not needed, where can we go that needs us. So all your dollars are helping do that. I know you have more to...
Yeah, well, we're going to be expanding our program regionally in all 3 countries. In Kenya, I mentioned before, we're actually opening up a whole new branch of Dig in a completely different part of, it's still in Western Kenya, but a different part of Kenya. So we'll be having a second Dig team in Kenya, reaching outwards from there. We're piloting a really cool program where we're actually prototyping this program where we are training indigenous organizations to stand up their own Dig programs.
Oh, wow.
With the idea that if we can equip those groups who know their community so well to understand and model the Dig program, then our impact will dramatically increase. We're obviously going to be increasing the number of priority household cases that we'll be working with in Kenya and Senegal, and expanding our indigenous food program with the Batwa. So we'll be continuing to work in Uganda while we look for the right Rwandan partner to work with the Batwa. But we'll be shifting to another part of the Bwindi Forest Complex to work with the Batwa in that part of Uganda. Yeah, so those are some of the things, and always adapting and responding to the needs where we see them. We are constantly being told about new groups or new vulnerabilities that would benefit from our program and that are really not being met otherwise.
And also, too, I know Sarah's going to kill me, but just talk about, too, how, seriously, how with the Dig program, how it has really helped empower women, the women over in Kenya and Senegal, to really be able to support their family.
Yeah. I think gardening work is very much, in many of the places where we work, left to the women. But women don't always know that they can make a living doing this and actually make really good money. And we found that in Kenya, we're having more husbands come to and seek out the Dig program because they see their wives making money and wanting to have a little influence in that as well. So we're working with far more men in Kenya than we have before, which is really exciting. And I think just seeing women receive our microloan program when they get to a point where when they really understand what they can do in the market with their produce, that just changes so much when they start to have the resources to make real decisions in their family. Oh my God!
We're 5,000 away.
Holy moly!
So here's
David
the deal.
K, thank you so much for your gift. That's amazing. I don't know if that was you that did that, but I know you just made a gift, and I'm so grateful. Thank you.
I'm like, here's the deal. If you want us to stop talking sooner, then go ahead and get that $5,000 to us. Okay.
She's holding up something. She's gonna have to rewrite that. I don't know what she said, but I bet it was good news.
Oh! Don't forget, we have an after party.
Oh,
so
Zoom.
Yeah, the Zoom after party.
That was a Zoom.
Hey,
Yes.
if you would like to get to the after party quicker, then get us to the 5K. That's how that's going to work.
Yeah.
Again, you can text the word DIG to 44321. We've had over 234.
When we started tonight, we had 230 donors. I don't know how many donors we have now, but we started at around 230 donors. Just when we started.
And two, by the way, as you're seeing, we got to thank our chefs. Real quick, big thank you to all of our chefs with showing us how to be sustainable, really how to kind of, as sometimes we don't think about this. And
they bring the joy.
They bring the joy.
They bring the joy to this.
And then they show us too how it's not just here. It's all the way around. That's what people don't understand. Like what we do here also impacts what's happening across the globe. We're at now 260 donors.
Wow, that's amazing.
Welcome to the family.
And Mohammed, thank you so much for your gift.
Yes, but by the way too, we are worldwide. So I can't forget that. I cannot forget that. We've got people in Abu Dhabi. We've got Senegal, Paris. Thank you so much. The time change is something else. But again, thank you so much. Sorry. We did it.
We did it?
We did it.
Oh my gosh,
we did it.
We did it. That's amazing.
We did it.
Thank you.
They said, get off the camera, Madison. We raised $175,000. Again, thank you all so much. We really do appreciate each and every one of you. I know donations are still coming in, so feel free to keep donating all the way through the month of October for the cocktails and cast-offs. You can go to dig.org, or the text line will still be up for them to donate, right? Dig at 44321. And don't forget, trip coming up, field trip coming up in May.
Yes, travel with me in May. I've already got some people who I know are interested, but we'll take the first 7 donors, or first 7 people who want to come. You don't have to donate to go, but we'll let you know more about it.
We won't say no.
You will want to after you go. I mean, that's where half of these table hosts came from. They traveled with me, so watch out.
Which is so awesome. Thank you to all of our hosts. We really do appreciate that. Thank you for inviting us into your home. I hope to do it again next year. Again, it's just a privilege, Sarah, to work with you all in the DIG community. Thank you all for having me. I really do appreciate that.
Thank you for being part of it, and thank you all. Be in touch. Sarah@dig.org. I am always up for having a conversation about this work and inviting you in as far as you'll go.
So it's time for the after party?
Yes, join me on Zoom. You can talk. You can talk. I'll be quiet.
Again, thank you to everyone. Thank you to the behind the scenes production, all that. We really do appreciate you. Thank you to all of our DIG family members, because it is like a family. So big thank you to each and every one of you. So I guess
enjoy the rest of your parties.
Bye-bye. We'll see you next year.